Purple Eagles Weekly is brought to you by Ad Pro Sports Elite Team Gear, Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers, Steve Baldo Ford in Niagara Falls, Crown Plaza Hotel Niagara Falls, the official hotel of Niagara Athletics, and by Pepsi.
Good evening and welcome to Purple Eagles Weekly here on Time Warner Cable Sports Net. I'm your host, Jeremy White. As the weather gets warmer, we turn the calendar. We shift to some different sports we haven't had a chance to really catch up on here in terms of NU athletics. We'll check in with soccer, softball, and then later in the show, services for student athletes once they're out of college. Some interesting things to learn about what the university does for its student athletes. But we start with men's soccer and junior midfielder and forward Carl Haworth, who is here, one of the captain of the team, and someone who is very important in the program's future going forward with a new coach, Coach Brooks, who we're going to meet later in the show. So I wanted to ask you about the process of hiring a new coach. You were one of 5 people on a committee to get a new coach and the only student representative. What was it like to be part of that, you know, that you were helping to shape the future of the program?
Yeah, it was a great experience just to hear different aspects of different coaches. And we had 3 very qualified coaches come in and interview. And I think we were lucky enough to have Coach Brooks join the program.
What was it going in that you were looking for in a coach? What did you want to get out of a new coach?
We're looking for someone to make the transition a lot easier. So with the old coach leaving, going to a rival school, we need someone to come in and just get things going right away.
Now, as a captain, did you talk to the rest of the players? Did you have a meeting and talk about their concerns, like what it was they were looking for as well?
Yeah, we were talking the whole time. We came up with a few questions as a team that we wanted answered and what we were looking for in a new coach.
Any trick questions in there?
No,
just straight strategy and coaching style?
Yeah, stuff about different tactics, different philosophies, and on the field play, I guess.
What was it about Coach Brooks that really jumped out at you, that made you think that transition would be easier under him?
Yeah, he was very well spoken. He had a job at Dayton where winning was, I guess, a habit. So he had many accolades to support his case.
We have some accolades as well. He's inheriting a heck of a player. First team All-MAC, led the team in goals and points. Second in the MAC in goals and points. And you've had some pretty big opportunities as well, including tryouts for the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm. So I guess with my success on the field here at Niagara, it opened up the coach's eye for the Canadian U23 Olympic team. I got called down for a couple of camps early this year, down in LA and Phoenix, and they went really well.
What was that like to be around, the elite of your country, of Canada, Canada's best soccer players, to be invited to one of those camps?
Yeah, it was phenomenal. The experience, just to have the experience of going down there, even just the one time I was happy with, but then to get the call back for the second camp, I'm just thrilled to be a part of it.
And now you just play the waiting game for hopefully another call?
Yep, just waiting.
So it's off-season for Niagara Purple Eagles soccer. What do you do in the off-season to stay in shape, to really keep your skills honed? I'd imagine these camps were actually a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, it was, but I guess I had to get myself in shape before the camps. So we did that. We were still training every day. We're doing weights 3 times a week, and on top of that, we're doing some fitness runs.
And as a leader on the team, in the off-season, are other players looking to you to kind of follow a plan in terms of what the off-season conditioning is?
Yeah, and I'd say especially from before Coach Brooks stepped in. So we had about a month period there where we didn't have a coach. So myself and a few other of the older guys, we had to take that leading role, and everyone, they respected that and went with what we had to say.
Was that just a natural thing for you? In the absence of a coach, you just kind of stepped right into that spot?
I guess growing up, I was always the captain of my club team. It's just a leadership quality that I guess I've already had. And just stepping in and taking responsibility is something I've just always done.
And Coach Brooks has been on the job for 1 week.
1 week.
How's he doing so far?
Fantastic.
Doing fantastic.
No complaints.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Carl. We'll meet the head coach of the Niagara men's soccer team coming up next. Coach Brooks, 1 week on the job. We'll see if he still likes the job. Coming up next on Purple Eagles Weekly. Back here on Purple Eagles Weekly on Time Warner Cable Sports Net, we'll stay with Niagara men's soccer and actually get a chance for the first time to meet new soccer coach Chase Brooks. Yeah. Welcome to the Niagara family.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You come to us from Fort Myers by way of Northern Illinois and Dayton.
Yes, most people go south as they get older. I'm heading the opposite way.
So how is it that you came to be part of the Niagara family? What was it about this spot that seemed like a good fit for you?
You know, Niagara men's soccer has been one of those programs for a long time. It's had a lot of success, but it's never been able to get over that hump. And for me, it just seems like a program that's been poised to take that next step onto the national level, and that's something I'm very excited about. And the Niagara community has been amazing. They're just, it really is a family atmosphere. It's very much a community-driven program, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, 1 week on the job?
1 week on the job, absolutely.
Looking forward to the season, counting down the days?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, baby steps, you know, the spring season's first. We got a couple games coming up in April that we're excited about. It'll be my first chance to see the guys really in person. And I'm really excited moving forward and getting with the training.
Well, top assistant coach at Dayton, 46-21-12 while there. 2009 A-10 regular season champs, an A-10 championship in 2008, their first in 10 years. What worked there that you want to bring here?
You know, accountability for the players, making sure that they, every day, they're doing the right things on and off the field. I think that's a big deal. Competition and training, creating that competition so that every day the team members have a chance to feel what it's like to win and to, again, hold them accountable when they're not winning. Why are they not winning? So really setting the tone in training every day. That's one of the things we did at Dayton that was very successful. Scoring goals definitely helps. We did a lot of that at Dayton, and that's something Niagara's actually very familiar with, so I'm pleased with that. And then setting the tone defensively. You know, we got to make sure that both sides of the ball are taken care of, and the defensive side is really the side that I'm more familiar with. You know, we only gave up 15 goals last year at Dayton, and that's something I'm definitely looking forward to bringing to Niagara.
And one of the weapons you have in terms of scoring goals, Carl, who we just talked to.
Absolutely.
What have you seen out of his game? What do you know about him coming in?
You know, tremendous leadership from what I've seen so far. He's one of the hardest workers every day in training, and as a coach coming in, stepping in to have somebody like that on the field, it's a tremendous asset to the program. He just kind of has a nose for goal. He has one of those abilities that you can't really teach. You know, he finds a way to get everything on target, and the guys around him, they watch, and they're watching him closely, and they're trying to emulate what he's doing, and he's been fantastic so far.
As you come in as a new coach, how important is it to get the leader of the players, you know, the captain, to get to him first so that he can spread the word? You know, you're a good guy, follow you. I mean, that's one of his jobs, but it's also got to be one of yours as well.
Absolutely. Making sure that Carl and a couple of the other upperclassmen know what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go, and that just that overall belief in what the program's about, it's huge. You got to have those guys on board. For sure.
What's the first meeting like with those players?
The first meeting was fun. Really, it's setting a tone. It's making sure they know exactly where we want this program to go. And they, to their credit, they've bought in nicely, and they're all working extremely hard. And really, as a coach, 1 week on the job, that's all I can ask.
I want to ask if you opened with a joke, or
yeah.
you did?
Oh no. I don't think I did, Carl. I don't know. I don't remember if I did. I was in the moment, so.
What? If you can give us some behind-the-scenes stuff, what kind of questions were asked of you during the interview process? You know, he mentioned that players had concerns about style, so what kind of questions were asked?
You know, at Dayton, what are things that we had done there, my experiences, different things like that. Tactically, you know, what type of tactics are we going to look to play? And you know, with that tactics question, it's kind of a difficult one to answer because it really does depend on the players and their attributes that they bring to the table. But you know, a lot of questions regarding that. You know, and the question that you asked, why Niagara, why now? And so, you know, I thought they did a great job with the search. I was treated very well throughout, and I had no problem when the call came. Saying yes and accepting and joining the Niagara family.
Well, an exciting day, and I'm also looking at in 2010 you recruited a class that was ranked 20th in the nation, so recruiting something that you'd pride yourself on?
I love recruiting. It's one of my favorite things to do, getting out into the community, seeing the players play in their environment and trying to fit that puzzle together here at Niagara is going to be one of my favorite things to do.
So what kind of player are you looking for? Design the perfect Niagara prospect when it comes to building your team.
Hardworking, talented on the field, off the field, academically astute, guy that just he does the right things without being told what to do.
And is there a coach that you would say you emulate or any sort of style play? You know, for soccer players that are watching, you go into a home and they say, who are we going to play like?
Yeah.
Who would you say?
I'm a huge Manchester United fan,
so
if we could ever play like Manchester United, that'd be a goal. You know, I love the way they play. You talk about a total team effort on both sides of the ball. They do a fantastic job. Everyone buys in. The attackers, the guys that are making the big money, are also the ones leading the defense as well, running back 50, 60 yards to make a slide tackle and keep the ball at the back of the net. And I just think that total team effort is really what it's about.
So who are you counting on for the Wayne Rooney bicycle kick into the top corner that happened a few weeks ago?
That was fantastic.
It was a pretty good play.
That was fantastic.
But from here, we've said 1 week on the job.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be 1 month, 1 year? Like, have you laid out a contingency plan for what goes on?
Yep, started to lay out a plan. For the first month, it's really setting the tone with the players, making sure that the training every day is at a high level, making sure they understand the goals and aspirations of the program. After a year on the job, we come into next fall. We've got some tremendous seniors coming back. I truly believe this is a program that can challenge for the MAC championship this coming season, and I'm very excited about that. So, again, continuing through this spring, it's all about recruiting and setting the tone with the players, getting in some guys that can step in right away and fill some holes. Stepping in next fall, it's about getting the job done on the field and then beyond, continuing that pattern.
Well, best of luck. We're excited to see exactly what happens and how things work out for you. Men's soccer coach Chase Brooks, the new hire on the job for 1 week here so far. Coming up next on Purple Eagles Weekly, we'll shift things to women's softball, and later in the show, an idea of what the university does for its student athletes after sports. That's next. Back on Purple Eagles Weekly here on Time Warner Cable Sports Net to women's softball, and one of the decorated players from the Niagara Purple Eagles, Teresa Healy, a senior second baseman. I want to go through some of these things. Preseason player of the year this year. MAC Player of the Year last year, 3-time All-MAC first team. Last year, career highs, an average of .446, slugging percentage of .741. Where do you go from here after, all that you've done so far? Now, aiming even higher?
Yeah, of course. That's what you try to do every year, try to get better and better.
So, the season's just getting started, 8 games in, 4-4 after a trip to Georgia, right?
Right.
And played against a top 20 team. What was it like to kind of get those first few games out of the way and find out what this team has this year?
It was nice, especially our first game being Georgia Tech, playing a top 20 team right off the bat. We got to see what we are capable of first game in, and we're looking good. All we need to do is put the pieces together, defensively, offensively, pitching. If that all comes together, then the season's, I think, we'll have a MAC championship.
Now, you came to Niagara from Las Vegas, and part of the reason is because your sister is actually an NU product as well.
Yes. She graduated in 2008. She's a career holder of a lot of records, and it was a great opportunity to play with her. Wouldn't get the opportunity anywhere else, so that's why one of the main reasons why I came here.
She talked the program up to you, and quick, it was an easy sell?
Oh, yeah. She loved the school, loved the area. My dad's from Buffalo area, so my aunt went to Niagara, so I was in the family.
And now, are you chasing all of her records?
Yep.
Are you going to break them?
I'm close. Broke one of them.
Do you
already.
remind her how close you are on the others?
Yep. She's not too happy about it.
But it's got to be a driving force for you, in knowing that you're chasing her. And is she mad about it, or is she proud of you?
She's proud of me, and she's never, ever said anything like she's mad at me. She's proud of me. Like, she'll joke around sometimes about it, but she's proud of me, so that helps a lot.
Well, you've got a lot of experience playing, but you're about to get some more experience going overseas. You're going to go to Germany for 5 months to play with the German team. How did that all come about, and what are you anticipating out of that?
I got in contact with this guy who sent my profile out to teams in Europe, and from there, teams contacted me, and then I got to just choose which team I wanted would look good, and I figured I'd never get this opportunity again. Go to Europe basically for free and play softball. Who gets that chance? So I had to take it.
So what kind of league is it? You're talking about playing games all throughout Germany and just seeing the countryside, basically seeing the world.
Right. Most of the games are in Germany. I know they have spring training in Italy, which I won't be there for because I'll still be playing softball here. But a chance to see Europe, I'll have a lot of time to travel because there's only 13 doubleheaders over 5 months. So a lot of time to travel and see Europe and get to play.
Well, a chance to see a lot of the world. How about what you've been doing here, juggling academics, athletics? Later in the program, we're going to talk about what the university does for athletes on their way out. What's it been like juggling all that, going through the hours per week that you're practicing and also making sure that you stay on top of your studies?
It's tough, but I think as an athlete, you learn to manage your time, and it's all what it's about, time management. And
well, March 30th is the home opener against Youngstown. How is it that you're preparing as a team? How do you practice here, I guess, is what people probably want to know, because it's freezing cold outside. Winter's lasted a little longer than we've wanted to. So how do you practice in the cold?
We practice in the gym, which is kind of hard because it's definitely not a full-size field. And we have to take ground balls off of a gym floor, which is a lot different from the dirt. We get to hit. We have cages, so our pitchers throw to us live, which is good. It's also hard to see in the gym. It's just tough. So once we get outside, it's much different. It's a lot better. And it's a hard transition going from playing in the gym to playing outside. And I think that's what we've been struggling with so far is the transition. So once we get used to playing outside again, it will continue to get better.
Well, preseason in the MAC coaches poll, 3rd in the conference. What are the goals for this team this season, and how high can things go?
Definitely a MAC championship. That's what's been on our mind. It's not, without a doubt, that's what we can do. 3rd, I don't think we should have been ranked 3rd, but I don't decide those things.
Motivated? It's definitely motivation?
Definitely motivation. I think the top 4 to 5 teams in the MAC are all close with each other. It depends on who, on what given day, does what.
Well, best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And hopefully the warmer weather comes as soon as possible.
Hopefully.
On your behalf and on everyone's behalf as well. Teresa Healy, senior second baseman here on Purple Eagles Weekly. Up next, we'll check in with what happens after life on the field. What do NU student athletes get from the university post-athletic career? It's next on Purple Eagles Weekly. Welcome back on Purple Eagles Weekly. Starting off this segment with a trivia question. Which head coach led a Niagara program to its first ever MAC title? The answer, 1994, Mike Skoronsky, swimming and diving.
Yeah.
First ever MAC title.
First ever.
I'm giving you the credit. Put it on me that I brought it up. I wanted that trivia question out there. But now, on to a new venture, a new life, corporate relations developer career services. What exactly does that big title, what does that mean?
That big title means that I go out and help source employers for Niagara students across the board. And within that, we have a whole host of opportunities for students to engage with employers through major specific job fairs, like we have a Meet the Accountants Night and Finance Night at the beginning of the year. We have a Teacher Recruitment Day. We have a Hospitality and Tourism Career Fair. And all these events are open to our student athletes to participate in.
And basically, it's your role to get student athletes opportunities in jobs after sports. And there's a famous commercial, 30,000 student athletes in the NCAA, and most of us won't be going into sports. So you're the liaison for them.
I'm the person who helps connect the students with opportunities. But you know, it's one of those things, it takes a village. Right down from the faculty to the administration. We're all invested in making sure there's solid opportunities for our student athletes.
Tell us about the Life After Sports program.
Life After Sports program is an excellent program. It's an inaugural event. The event came into being last year, which was our first year. But there was a recognition on the part of our athletics department that the athletes, they're certainly special. They put in a tremendous amount of effort and time in their sports. 20 hours a week. That is mandated by the NCAA. And if you really want to be good, and if you're listening to Carl, he was saying, a lot of extra hours. So this event, in a nutshell, talks about those transitional skills that they have through athletics that would help them marketable in the workplace. They also, most of these athletes have been participating in athletics most of their life. And you're right, the NCAA comes out with a great commercial, 30,000 athletes. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? Life after sports.
Right.
And, in some cases, there's a tremendous sense of loss for them. And it could impact them deeply. I mean, their identity for years has been based on their success on the playing field.
So we're talking about a support system to help student athletes get jobs, but also a support system to help them cope with
the loss.
Yeah.
Because it really is. I mean, and as many of our student athletes go through that, where they sit there in their final moment, that final game, and you could see it on their faces. If you ever go to the last game or senior night where Anthony Nelson was about to walk off the court for the last time in a Niagara uniform, it's just a special moment, and I think that many people identify themselves with their athletics. So.
Well, as student athletes move forward, what are some of the traits specifically that athletes have that set them apart when potential employers are looking to hire someone, whatever the field it may be, whether it's business, finance, whatever it might be?
What was really exciting to me, I was sitting listening to Coach Brooks and Carl and Teresa, and NACE puts out a list of 5, and NACE is National Association of Colleges Employers. They put out 5 traits that are the top traits they're looking for in students coming out and there. Verbal communication skills, strong work ethic, teamwork, analytical skills, and initiative. And listening to Coach Brooks, one of the first things that he talked about when you asked him the question about what he's looking at for his players, he said accountability, competitive, hard work, leadership, initiative. And Teresa talked about the hours of commitment and time management. So those skills, those transitional skills, those skills that those student athletes learn on the playing field really do transcend to the workplace. That's why employers value so much those kinds of individuals.
How have student athletes changed over the years? Because we all know the business of sports, and whether it's academics, athletics, juggling this, the NCAA is always making sure that they're out for the best interest of the student athletes. So how have the athletes changed or had to change over the course of time?
Well, I think the commitment for them to succeed in both the classroom and on the field is always there. Niagara is very successful in putting out outstanding student athletes. If you look at the statistics, and I can't quote them, most of the teams typically have over a 3.0 GPA. But they're on the road a lot. They're traveling. So I think the one thing that's changed a lot is the technology. Technology has allowed them to kind of keep up in the classroom even though that they're not there. So it is a benefit, but it's still, you can't replace that in-class work that they get.
Well, Mike, good luck. You've got a lot of athletes to take care of, and we know they're in good hands. Thanks for taking the time to join us. I want to thank our other guests as well, Carl Haworth and Chase Brooks for the men's soccer team, and of course Teresa Healy, the decorated player of the women's softball team. That'll wrap it up for us here on Purple Eagles Weekly. Hope you enjoyed the show, seeing what athletes do at the start of their careers, a new coach, and what we do with student athletes on their way out the door. That's it for us tonight. Good night, everyone, from Purple Eagles Weekly on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet.